Hi everyone. Today we'll be discussing about OctFusion, an octree-based diffusion model for 3D shape generation. 3D content generation is a fundamental task in computer graphics, and it has a broad range of applications including virtual reality, augmented reality, 3D games, and movies. Moreover, the generated results usually suffer from multi-phase Janus problem and may even contain oversaturated colors. On the other hand, many directly trained diffusion models on 3D shape datasets. Voxel grids incur huge computational and memory costs, and the models generated using voxel grids are of low resolutions. And the models generated with sparse voxel-based representation techniques like octrees and hash tables are proposed to represent 3D shapes with only non-empty voxels that enable the generation of high-resolution 3D shapes. Point clouds are very flexible and efficient. They are discrete and unorganized, which make them convert them into continuous surfaces that are more desirable for many graphics applications. Triplanes are combined with multi-level perceptrons to further increase the expressiveness and efficiency, whereas it is observed that triplanes are way much harder to model complex geometric details. Many diffusion models have shown greater potential in generating diverse and high-quality shapes in image domain, surpassing many GANs. And OctFusion is specially trained with a unified unit that can generate shapes with greater resolutions in a single network, which significantly reduce the complexity of the training procedure. Key idea is to optimize many 3D representations using neural radius fields or instant NGP with the gradient guidance from 2D diffusion pairs. Few issues that are encoded using this technique is the oversaturated textures and artifacts in the shapes that are being generated that could arise due to the inconsistency of multi-image priors. And in unified diffusion models, cascaded diffusion models are used to enable diffusion models to generate high resolution images. And this paper is implemented using the latent features that are decoded into local sign distance fields with a shared multi-level perceptron, which are then fused into a global sign distance function by multi-level partition of unity modules. The octree can be constructed from a point cloud or a mesh by recursive subdivision of the latent features, and the latent features are then further extracted with variational autoencoder that is built upon dual octree graph networks. The 3D shapes in these octree-based representations are decoded into continuous fields, which are called sign distance fields. Consider a mesh. We convert the mesh into an octree by recursively subdividing all the non-empty octree nodes until the maximum depth is reached. And latent features on each of these leaf nodes are stored, which are then decoded into local sign distance functions by a shared multi-level perceptron, and then they are blended into a local sign distance function into a global distance fields using multi-level partition of unity module. And variational autoencoders are built upon dual octree graph networks to learn the octree-based latent representation. And the encoder in this approach takes an octree built from a point cloud as input and outputs a latent feature for each leaf node. And the decoder reconstructs the continuous sign distance function from the latent features. And the ground truth is pre-computed for each shape in the training set. The latent features in the octree-based diffusion model are continuous signals, and they are regarded by splitting the status as 0 or 1 continuous signals, with 0 indicating no splitting and 1 indicating splitting. The predicted splitting signals are rounded to 0 or 1 and used to generate the octree structure, and the predicted latent features are used to reconstruct the continuous fields. And in the depth estimation, an octree is forced to be full when the depth is less than 4 and denote its maximum depth as d. Although all stages of the unit can be trained jointly, it was empirically found that training the unit stage by stage produced quantitatively better results. And it also simplifies the network. And the main experiments for this paper were carried out using the dataset from ShapeNet on observers. And for generating the 3D shape generation dataset, ShapeNet dataset was used, and it was trained on a few particular categories like chair, table, airplane, car, and rifle. The unit of OctFusion contains two stages that are trained for 4,000 epochs in less than 1 day and 500 epochs for 2 days on a 4 NVIDIA 4090 GPU. A group of evaluation techniques were used in comparing OctFusion with the other available techniques. Metrics like COE, MLT, FID, and NNA were employed in comparing OctFusion with the other available techniques, and the results are as follows. And this method can also be extended to generate textures, and the color latent features can also be trained by attaching another decoder to the variational autoencoder while sharing the encoder with the geometry latent features. Concluding, this paper can further be extended to do text condition generation, sketch condition generation, and texture generation.